Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to speak something about the digital technology that we've incorporated 4 years ago. So it's more about my success story, and I'm not going to be showing more of the samples. So yeah, next slide. So brief introduction about my company. So we are a 40-year-old group with over 20 years in the printing and the packaging industry. We focus more on the self-adhesive labels and shrink sleeves. So next slide. So what pushed us to digital? So since 2018, we've been printing all our labels and shrink sleeves on the conventional presses. But in the last 4 or 5 years, we were getting a lot of inquiries for short-run jobs, especially from our existing customers as well as the new customers. We were, however, printing on our conventional presses, but there was a lot of wastage for material when during the setup of the process. It's a 40-feet flexo press, so there's a lot of wastage. Also, when you're printing Pantones for a short-run job, you make a lot of inks. At one point, we have around 300 different kinds of inks, and it just ended up being an unused inventory because some jobs never came back. And that led us to investing in a digital press in 2019. And since our 4 years of experience in the digital technology, I can say there are some few advantages. Also, there are some limitations, but I would like to focus more on the advantages, and I'll give some examples of how we utilized those advantages. So the biggest advantage is ability to print lower MOQs. So right now it is, in the last 5 years, there's been a startup revolution in the country with a great, the entrepreneurship has got a major boost. Please, next slide. Yeah, and with the government's Make in India initiative, there's been a lot of customers, especially in the cosmetics, personal care, food and beverage industry. These customers, they are still new, but they want to compete against the established MNCs. And the way they can be a differentiation factor is because of packaging. They still want all the embellishments like foiling, embossing, spot UV, etc. But their quantities are very low because they're still in the trial and error phase. They still want quantities like 1,000, 2,000, but they have 20, 25 different SKUs. So they want to do a trial first before they go to the longer runs. So I'll give you an example for one of the customers. It's a food product customer. They wanted around 750 to 1,000 labels, but they came up with 200 SKUs. They were putting a pouch on. They were putting a label on a pouch, but they wanted every label to be different because we told them you can just make a single label and that's it. You can just print a sticker on it. But they wanted a proper finished, die-cut, embossed, and foiled label. So we sat down with them. We sat down with the design team of the company. We made sure that everything is, some things are common like foil, spot UV, and we printed all the labels, which is like 2 lakh labels in one go. We did the foiling, we did the lamination, all in one process. So basically, even though it's a digital press and it is meant for short runs, we ended up doing a 2 lakh label order, which is a phenomenal job. It is a high value product. Next slide. So basically, if there are a lot of number of increased startups, there's an increased demand for lower MOQs. And this is how it helped us a lot. Second advantage is consistency. The first label that we print and the last label, be it the 10,000, the 1 lakh, even the 100th label, they're all the same. The customers really appreciate it. I'll give you an example of a skincare brand in Ahmedabad where they started with a quantity of 1,000, 2,000 labels per SKU. And they grew 10, 12-fold, and they were ordering 40, 50,000 labels per SKU. But they still wanted to get the labels printed digitally because they really like the consistency, they really like the quality. And there's one pharmaceutical company where we are printing 35 lakh labels every month of a same product just because of the consistency and the quality that provides. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is something about the consistency and the quality. The third most important point is the quick turnaround time. It was just 2019 when we installed our digital press, and in 7 months, COVID happened. The whole country was in lockdown, and the pharmaceuticals and the personal care companies, they found a new market in the sanitizer industry. They wanted labels like yesterday, and they wanted to take advantage of the demand of sanitizers. Just because of the digital press and no dependency on the external plate makers, we were able to print labels as fast as 3 hours and supply them within 5, 6 hours. Next slide. So I'll give you an example of a Bombay company. They were into sanitizers. They had 7, 8 SKUs. They wanted 20,000 of labels of each product. They ordered in the evening. They sent their vehicle at night. They got the labels next afternoon. So that's not possible in a conventional press. And these are all printed on roll form. Variable data is not new, but with a multicolor digital press, we are able to print multicolor variable QR codes. We are able to print all the 4 colors along with the variable barcodes, variable QR codes. We have done we've done a 4-color job with a variable QR code for education boards, which is like 2 crore labels, which is like around 5 lakh running meter jobs. Even though in the last 4 years there's a good advantage of digital press for us, there are some challenges and limitations that we are facing, which is the biggest limitation is the cost. After some point, for most of the jobs, it becomes a little expensive. Because India is a very competitive market, even the flexo printers, they're charging quite less, and sometimes even for quantities like 5,000, our digital rates are quite expensive. And the other most challenging part is embellishments. You have to do all the embellishments offline. So it's good for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 labels, but when the quantities increase to 10,000, 15,000, I think it's better to do everything online because it saves time, and it just, the offline just adds to the time and adds to the other cost. So that's my bit on the digital technology and my experience with it in the last 4 years. Thank you.